The 2016 Xxl Freshman class is often regarded as one of the best freshman classes Xxl has ever had. You had Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, Denzel Curry, G Herbo, Anderson .Paak, Designer, Dave East, and Lil Dicky. You can make an argument that at least 5 of them are some of the best artists of the later 2010s and the foreseeable future. However, I want to dive deeper into how these artists' careers have evolved over the years, and for most of them, how successful they truly are. The big hitter for me, and I think most people would agree, is Lil Uzi Vert. When he was first blowing up, I was in high school, and I remember always hearing people bumping Lil Uzi, whether it was Money Longer, Top, You Was Right, and P's and Q's. It felt like everyone knew Lil Uzi, and everyone loved his music and his energy. I get the feeling a lot of people under the age of 25 see Lil Uzi Vert as their generation's superstar. The next guy that made a huge impact on the hip-hop scene is Kodak Black. Now, I know Kodak has had his issues with the law, but I'm mostly going to talk about the impact these artists have had on the hip-hop scene and not the issues or troubles they currently are dealing with or have had in the past. Now, Kodak Black has had hits like Tunnel Vision, Codeine Dreamin', Roll in Peace, No Flockin', and most recently, Super Gremlin. Kodak has also felt like he was all over the place in the late 2010s and has grown a solid fan base that really rocks with his music. I'm really happy for Kodak Black because he did have a lot of troubles early in his career and even a couple years ago. However, I think he has really improved his lifestyle and made music his main focus, and it's really showing. 21 Savage is another big name out of this list. He is very relevant still and just released a duo album with Drake. That's not to mention he had huge songs like No Heart, X, Bank Account, and a lot. Not to mention his massive song with Post Malone, Rockstar. 21 Savage just had a huge impact on the rap and hip hop scene. You'll often hear people say, we should get 21 Savage as a feature. And that's because that guy hardly ever misses on a feature. And when he does projects, they've always been fire. Personally, my favorites are Savage Mode 1 and 2. Lil Yachty is a guy who up until this year, I would say hasn't really had a huge hit in a while. Lil Yachty had massive songs which he featured on like Broccoli and I Spy. He also had songs from his earlier 2016 mixtape like Minnesota and One Night. Nowadays though, Lil Yachty is seen more as a cool rapper influencer in my opinion. Now I know what you're going to say, he has a hit right now with Poland, and you're right, he does. But Yachty himself said he had no idea that song was going to blow up, and it was all by accident. I'm not discrediting Yachty at all. He made a great song and capitalized on it. I'm just saying, Lil Yachty in 2022, I don't think a ton of people are nearly as excited to hear he's dropping an album than these other guys I already mentioned. Denzel Curry is a very interesting one because I know he has a lot of fans and I know he has a lot of people bumping his music. However, Denzel has always been independent, which is great for him because he makes a lot of the money. The problem I see is the only people checking Denzel Curry music are Denzel Curry fans. And that's not a bad thing at all, although it is a thing. All the guys I mentioned before Denzel all have mainstream appeal and are talked about on major outlets, even if it's not just an album promo run. So, because Denzel Curry chose to go the independent route, he's never going to get the same kind of love as any of the other guys on this list that are signed. But with that being said, Denzel Curry has done nothing but drop banger after banger after banger. He dropped his first album in 2016, Imperial, then Taboo in 2018, Zoo in 2019, and most recently, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future in early 2022. Denzel Curry gets a lot of praise through hip-hop Twitter and his fans because he constantly puts out solid bodies of work. I just don't think he'll ever reach the heights that Uzi, Kodak, and 21 Savage have all met. G Herbo is in a very similar boat to Denzel Curry, I would say, just completely different fan bases. I feel as though he has a solid foundation and a few hit songs, but I just don't see him ever being as popular as he was in 2016, 2017, and 2018. That's not that I'm saying G Herbo is a flop of a Xxl Freshman. No, not at all. It's just in comparison to these other Xxl Freshmen, he doesn't particularly stand out. With Anderson .Paak and Dave East, I'm going to talk about them together because honestly neither of these artists are my particular cup of tea, although they still have their fan bases. Anderson .Paak most recently had a duo album with Bruno Mars that was a smashing success. Dave East most recently released an album on November 18th, and Dave East still has his core fan base. He doesn't seem like the type of rapper to have super mainstream appeal, but he's doing his thing. Now, Designer and Lil Dicky, if you had to choose two of these artists that shouldn't have been on this list, it'd probably been both these guys. Now, I don't mean any disrespect, but Designer only had released his first album in 2016, and yes, he had Panda, which was obviously one of the biggest songs of all time. I'm not taking that away from him, but because of the massive success of that song, I think it put him in a bit of a situation like Roddy Ricch is in right now. Their careers are completely overshadowed by the fact that really early in their careers, they had huge number one hits, and then could never quite bring that hype back up. Lil Dicky to me shouldn't be one because he's a meme rapper. He makes music to listen and laugh to. No one is ever getting in their car and saying, yeah, I'm gonna bump this new Lil Dicky album. It just doesn't happen. No hate to Lil Dicky, he's just more of a funny guy than a rapper to me. Now that it's been over 6 years since the iconic freshman class, I wanted to take a look back at how their careers turned out for them, and most of them, it's pretty good. Lil Uzi Vert is still on top of the entire hip-hop scene. Kodak Black just had a smash hit this year. 21 Savage released a great album with Drake. Denzel Curry released a really good album this year, and Lil Yachty had a smash hit with Poland out of nowhere. As I mentioned earlier about Dave East and Anderson .Paak, they both have their own lanes, and they're killing it for their fans, which at this point in their careers, I think they're totally okay with and doing good. Overall, I think this was one of the best freshman classes ever, and I'm not sure Xxl will be able to ever top this class they had in 2016. There are just too many classic moments around this artist in this class that it's going to be really hard for them to have a class that's this good again. To end this video, I just want to say I don't mean any disrespect to anyone in this freshman class. I'm just giving my opinion, and I can't wait to see what's in store for every single one of these artists. Thanks for watching.